Well, hopefully we can figure out the mystery, chat. Hopefully we can find out how he does it, because I unironically do not know. I guess this is a total VTuber obliteration. I mean, you got VTubers showing a little bit of skin, you know, they're artists having the audacity to put the pencil on the paper and draw a little bit of a booba over there, and Twitch bans the living shit out of that. But if you have a terrorist on your stream and you wish for the death of American politicians, Twitch gives you a slap on the wrist. Isn't that a mirror, though, in American culture? Isn't this like what American TV is now about? If you show a little bit of a titty, it's like a calamity. Like, people immediately moralize. Oh my goodness. Think of the children. But when it comes to gore, when it comes to guts and toilet humor, oh, that is some shit for the kids, right? Like, that is definitely something that Americans are proud of. And this seems to be the same thing on Twitch, right? Like, you got a little anime girl over there, bam! Immediate ban. But if you have a Sanpai talking about terrorists and shit like that, just a slap on the wrist. Why did social media become the clergy? Because people glorify moral busybodies. I think it's like the wrong assumption that if someone is a moral busybody, that he is a moral person, right? Like, if you go around and accuse others of shit, then you must be clean, right? Because you have morality. For some reason, people tolerate hypocrisy. That's the main thing, right? It's like, if I go around and accuse other people of being drunks and doing liver damage and being a burden to society and probably causing domestic abuse because they're a drunk, then people would assume that maybe I'm not a drunk. Like, people would assume that, well, I must never touch alcohol because I have strong moral convictions. And when it's found out that I'm a hypocrite, people just don't fucking care. It's literally what's going on Twitter with some of the Gunnar Gators, right? Like, there's this guy, JDL, if you heard about him, right? Goes around and it's like, oh, ban pornography. Pornography is sinful. And then people look into it, and apparently he was sharing furry pornography on Maine, the homosexual variety. And he also helped write a not safe for work comic book with tits and shit. And it's like, this is how you play it. Like, this is how you are a decent person in 2025. You accuse others of things, you go after other people, and then they believe that you must be virtuous, right? And this is why social media is now the clergy. Because everyone does it. Like no one wants not to do it, because then they will assume that you must be immoral, right? So, like, if you don't condemn someone, then it must be that you're an immoral person. Establishing a moral authority. Yeah, I think it started with feminism, really. Like, I'm looking at rage memes, and they're so apolitical, they're so fucking wholesome. From a time where the internet was young and innocent. And, feminism is what really brought this energy where you're, like, moralizing over strangers. Because it's, like, one thing to moralize in your family. Like, I even encourage that. Like, of course, you know, if you have a kid, like, you need to educate him, you need to moralize with your family. It's understandable if you moralize with your neighbors. Like, you don't want your neighbors to play loud music after a certain hour. You don't want them to leave their garbage at the door. You know, like, I understand that. But when you moralize about some twat from Mexico, you're never going to go to Mexico. You never travel to Mexico. Like, nothing that person does harms you in any way. Like, why the fuck are you, you know? Oh my goodness, some Mexican kid watches political commentators that I disagree. Oh no, like, he's a fascist. Oh goodness, who fucking cares? What happened in Mexico stays in Mexico. Anyway, right, so Hassan Piker got unbanned. It took like 1 day for his ban. Like, if he hadn't announced it, no one would even know he got banned. Popular political Twitch streamer Hassan Piker has been unbanned following his controversial remarks about U.S. Senator Rick Scott. Piker's ban lasted just a single day and came after his call. How the fuck is like a one-day ban? Like, they couldn't even ban him for a week. How precious is Hassan Piker for Twitch? Like, can that company not run? Is he that essential? Holy shit. One-day ban. Even Twitter bans you longer than that. I just gotta say, you know, can I marry Hassan? Like, no, seriously, like, I want his family name. I want his family name because, like, apparently, maybe some nepotism going on. Who the fuck knows? Does he have a sister? I'll marry her. Actually, wait, I don't have to. As I mentioned before, like, America's crown achievement is gay marriage. Like, that entire civilization, the one thing that they produced of the most value is gay marriage. So, theoretically, I should be able to marry Hassan. I'm already married, though. I don't know if it works in Islam. Like, he's Muslim, isn't he? Like, can he have, like, 2 wives? Why can't he have 2 husbands? Anyway, right, I don't care about anything. I just want his name. I just want his family name. So I, too, can be the fucking violator. I want to violate those terms of service on Twitch. Want to go there and, like, go down the list and be like, what is the first TOS? What is the second? And I'll violate it, you know? Apparently, that's how you become a good streamer as well. He already cross-dress. Nah, like we're onto something, chat. We're really onto something. I don't care. I'll dance for him, dude. Like, if you have the ability to threaten American politicians live on air and you don't get banned, I mean, at this point, you gotta wonder: is there anything that he can do which could get him banned? And I think the answer is no. I don't think, like, he can do... There is one thing, though. There is, like, one thing that I think even Twitch wouldn't allow. So, like, Hassan, if you're listening to this, I want you to test something for me, please. Like, try this out. Use a VTuber avatar with a midriff, okay? I don't care what you talk about. Like, just do it on Twitch. Because I want to see, like, if that would get him banned. Because I think, like, that is the worst thing you can do on Twitch. It doesn't stay with dancing with Ottomans. But why do people, like, post in chat things that make absolutely no sense within the conversation, man? Why are you doing this? Like, I'm trying to do some banter with the chat, and then I just pick one line, and it's like something just completely out of context, just nothing to do with the conversation. I hate you. I need to get a new chat. I'm going to go... On the Archcast, I can banter with the chat. I blame me 100% for this. He just need to agree with Trump on anything. No, I think if he agrees with Trump, that's fine. Like, they have Asmongold there, right? Like, Asmongold is agreeing with Trump. Like, even Twitch realized, like, holy shit, the culture is changing. Like, we can't just keep up with it. Like, we're going to start allowing people there. So, no, you can agree with Trump on Twitch now. It's fine. Didn't Boogie get banned for showing cock? I mean, Boogie says that he didn't show cock. All right, here we have. I'll show this. But yeah, like Boogie showed himself naked on YouTube, and I think he got a ban. But Boogie said that no, you can't see anything. And so I did the thing that I shouldn't have done. I downloaded the picture, and it was true. It was Boogie naked in front of the mirror. And he did have a point. You couldn't see anything because the fat roll was acting like a piece of clothing. Like a natural piece of clothing. It was covering everything. So, like, yes, he was naked, but... No, that wasn't on YouTube. It was on Twitch, right? Like, when he was trying to do the meta. Because, like, there was the meta with all the girls, like, streaming and making sure that the camera just stops above their breasts and they were naked. Yeah, like, kind of like that. And so, Hassan Piker... No, sorry, Boogie. Yeah, Boogie, posted naked. And he got banned, and he was like, oh, you're fat-shaming. I don't think they were fast shaming though. Anyway, who's this? Is it a gentleman or a gentlewoman? Who's this lady behind? Man, I realize that I don't know any of these people. I don't fucking know any of these people on Twitch. I think Asmongold did it better though. Like, Asmongold looks a lot better when cosplaying. He's not the professor anymore, right? He's the cisfessor, right? The cisfessor. God. Is it a joke or serious? Well, that's the interesting thing, right? Like with Democrats, you literally can't tell. That can actually be an interesting show, joke or serious. And you show Democrats. And unironically, you can't tell. It's very difficult. Anyway, that's about it with Hassan. I managed to quickly finish the topic for today. But in the meantime, we can actually find other things to discuss. Keir Starmer is okay with cousin marriage now. Cousin marriage. I wonder why though. I wonder like why is Britain okay with cousin marriage? Is there like a lot of demand for cousin marriage in Britain? And if yes, why? Let's listen to this, right? Just the audio only.
And marriage between first cousins carries significant health issues, many of which aren't even knowable until post-birth.
I just want to point out that Britain is a country that bans smoking because of safetyism. Like, oh, well, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy, and if it's unhealthy, the government needs to forbid you from having it. You think your life is your own? No, it belongs to the state. We will force you, we will compel you to live healthy, and we will take your cigarettes away. But instead, you can have cousin marriage, the British way with a British value.
Practice generation after generation, there is a significant multiplier effect. In addition, the real...
Listen to this, like generation after generation. So like there's a demand to keep it in the family. Keep it in the family. Don't go out of the family. No, that's integrating. That's assimilating. No, keep it in the family business. Maintain that purity, that family heritage, that family line.
Impacts to the openness of our society and women's rights in our country are also significant. After all, there are significant dynamics in sharing the same set of grandparents. On Friday, this government has a choice to let my bill go through to ban first cousin marriage to committee stage. Will the Prime Minister...
Wait, ban cousin marriage like it was allowed up until now? Do you know what's interesting? Like, Britain is one of those countries that ban a lot of porn fetishes. Did you know that? I saw like a list of things that I was just laughing my ass off, like caning, for instance, spanking. I think if you want to make porn in Britain, it's gotta be like the most vanilla shit, right? If you want anything more extravagant, you gotta go to the Americans. But while they do that, and they also have like the online porn bill and all of like the nonsense, like when a government is so fucking obsessed with sex. You gotta wonder why. Like, no, it's fine to have, like, some laws. Like, I get it. But they have an absolute obsession. It's like, well, how do people masturbate? But why do they masturbate? What do they masturbate of? Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy? Let's legislate. And you think, like, this country would be a very holy country, right? A very pious country, but they have cousin marriages. Yeah, like something just doesn't make sense. Like something just doesn't add up. I fail to understand. How is it possible? Like by all accounts, they were going in the right direction. Like everything they were doing is fine, right? Like, then it's like cousin marriage. It's like, how the fuck did that came in?
Think again before instructing his whips to block this legislation.
Yeah. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we've taken our position on that bill. Thank you.
That completes Prime Minister's questions.
Not that I care, to be honest. Not my country, not my problem. But still, you know, it's an interesting case study. It's an interesting analysis of the whole situation. Like when I have people from Britain lecturing others about fan service, I would like to remind them to shut the fuck up, right? Like if you want to lecture people about fan service, go to any other country except Britain and then do it from there. Like, you don't do it from that place, okay? Because until you fix that issue, I don't want to hear from you. So progressive, it's regressive? I see. It's holy according to the Quran. Well, see, this is another thing that I don't understand. Like, just because it's allowed, why do you have to do it? Like, can't you actually meet a woman that's outside of your family? Like, is it, Do they have, like, family traditions there? Like, how does it work? Like, legitimately, I'm curious now. Like, I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't know why, though. It's so fucking weird. Imagine being a normal person and seeing that your government refuses to ban cousin marriage. I don't even have a problem with it, to be honest, because I don't marry my cousin, and I'm pretty sure that my son isn't going to marry his. So, like, it's something that generally doesn't affect me, right? But, like, why? You know, like why do they grandstand and moralize about other issues if they can't get this one right? You don't get it? Incest is part of their culture? Well, I guess it's part of British culture now. I mean, it's allowed. Cousin marriage is not unheard of in the UK. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, as well as Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, were cousins. No, like, I understand the historical things with cousin marriage, and I also understand the historical consequences of cousin marriages, where you have the Byzantium, and I said this on previous streams because it's true, where the emperor was biting its ministers. Like, some of the last Byzantine emperors were incompatible with life. They lived a life of agony and pain. And they were locked in gold cages. Because, again, they were biting their ministers. Wasn't like one of the Byzantium emperors that abdicated and he died in terrible agony? The Habsburgs, right? Not the Byzantians, sorry, the Habsburgs. Yeah. Isn't that the same shit? No, it's not. Okay, my bad. But still, the thing with the Habsburgs is like the Habsburgian jaw, right? Like, yeah, I know that it was in history, but like people back then didn't understand genetics, and they didn't know any better. And then they found out. And once they found out, there's no excuse to keep doing it anymore. Imagine your dad is your uncle. Oh my god. The jaws, the blood not clotting. Yeah. Yeah, no, so I get it, like, it happened in the past and with the royal family and shit, but, and by the way, like, back then, I also understand, like, the political reasoning for this to happen. It's because if you had, like, a large plot of land, and you married, it means that the land would go outside of the family, so, like, noble families, like, wanted to keep the land in. It wasn't about love. It wasn't about sex. It wasn't about that. It was just like purely political, like in a feudal place where the land is everything and it's your status, your way to feed yourself, right? Like everything is dependent on the land. Then I understand why people did that thing, right? But like we don't do it anymore. It's not even needed. Like not even that makes sense now. One of the royal kids was locked up in a tower because his brain didn't brain. Is that a thing? In Banat, they used to marry cousins. Pretty sure in Hungary I do too. I think they do it in Spain. I think they allow like and by the way, like there's also this thing where it's like third grade cousins. I don't know how that works. So you have like first grade cousins, second grade, and third grade. Apparently like third grade is legal even in my country. I would have to look at the family tree, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of like fought it off to the point where there's no like genetic match. So, but even then, like, why the fuck would you want to marry within your family? Just like it's like, are you unable to get a date? Can you not go out and find a different woman? Imagine having an uncle grandpa. Yeah, that would probably fuck like a lot of the family relationships, literally. My cousin has a farm property inherited from my grandfather. Maybe there's something to his cousin marriage if it means I get the land. I mean, do you want the land really that badly? But yeah, no, like in a medieval society, this was actually done. Again, marriages weren't for love. They were more like a political thing. Unless you are poor. If you are poor, like, you could marry whoever you want. Yeah, so apparently, the Supreme Court of the United States passed a decision regarding USAID. And a lot of people are upset, but I think the decision is actually reasonable. So they're forcing Donald Trump to unfreeze the USAID money. This is the title of the article. But in reality, that's not what they're doing. They're forcing the president to pay the contracts that were already committed. Which, by the way, makes sense, right? Like, even if it's a grift, even if it's a waste of taxpayer money, if you make a contract and you tell someone that you're going to pay them, you should pay them. Otherwise, don't make the fucking contract. It's not rocket science, right? Like, if you consent, like, if I tell you that I'm going to give you money by December, and in exchange you do a job, and you keep your end of the deal, I have to pay you, right? I can't just say, well, you know, like, I changed my mind because the money is... No. I gotta pay you. So this is pretty much what's happening. It doesn't mean that USAID is going to go back, or that... things are going to go to the way they were before. No, it just means that the contracts that were already agreed are going to get paid. Which unfortunately is approximately $2 billion. People are very upset. The thing is, like, You can't be happy when like SCOTUS as an institution, you gotta understand, like, sometimes it's going to give rulings in your favor and sometimes against. Like, up until now, especially with Roe v. Wade and abortion, like, it played on the conservative side, and every now and then they're giving the Democrats a win as well. Because otherwise, if they wouldn't do this, they would probably get stacked whenever you have, like, a Democrat president coming over. Like, when Mexico owed money to Britain, France, and Spain, no, we don't have the money. Try and make us don't bleed, they invaded us. Is that a thing? Jesus, I didn't know that part of history. If the contract was made under false pretense, it can be cancelled. Yeah, but if you have a contract to make transgender mice, and the scientist actually did make transgender mice, there's no false pretense. Now, I can agree that it's a waste of taxpayer money. And I can agree that no country that's sane should ever sign such a deal. But the contract was signed. And both parties, and the other party respected their agreement. They did create the transgender mice. Now you gotta pay them. Marrying first cousins is a little too close, in my opinion. It's probably not gonna cause genetic problems in 1 or 2 generations. Oh, it does. It does. Like, there is a country out there in the world. Ends with a stan. And it has, like, a really high rate of kids with disabilities. Specifically due to the marriage within the family. They keep hiding the salami into the family business, if you know what I mean. It's only fair to pay the people who worked, even if the contract is complete bullshit. Yeah, like the correct way, the legal way would be to hold the previous administration accountable for making the contracts. But the people who worked, they gotta get paid. Because, like, from their point of view, the contract was legal and it was signed. And if you don't pay them, then other people will be reluctant to deal with your country in the future. Because they'll be like, well, how do I know that the next administration isn't going to fuck me over? If I remember right, in genetics, third cousins, common great-grandparent, are different enough to where the genetic effects are the same as outsider. Yeah, this is probably why in my country it's allowed. Third cousins, yeah. Second is banned. Same with first. You know, like during the progressive era, we had the big question in the... I think it was Salon, or which publication asked, why can't brothers have sex? Like, if you have a brother, right? Like, they can't have kids. And now that homosexuality is okay, like, why can't two males that are brothers have sex? It was the interesting questions that I think it was Salat or Jezebel. I forgot which publication, but I remember, like, reading the article. And I generally had the face of what the fuck am I reading, but, like, let's keep going. You know, let's see where this takes us. And I think, like, well, obviously that there's, like, the practical argument, and then there's the philosophical argument, right? Like, the practical argument is like, well, like, if they do, how the fuck would people know? Right? Like, if you have two brothers and they do it, like, how would you possibly know? But, like, the philosophical argument is that, well, it normalizes the thing. That's the issue. Like, it normalizes incest. And you don't want that, because, like, the problem with incest is that it creates kids with long-lasting health effects for an entire life. It's cruel, and it shouldn't be happening. And so, like, if you have two brothers, which, you know, they can't have kids, so, like, there's no danger there, it's still, like, an obscenity thing. Like, it normalizes the problem. Crusader Kings enthusiasts? From a libertarian point of view, there is no reason why brothers should not do it because it's not reproductive. No, I just gave you the argument. It normalizes the thing. Right? Like it's just one more step until a brother and sister goes, well, like, those are brothers and they can do it. Why can't I do it? And then it's going to be like, okay, but, like, what if I get a vasectomy and do it? Right? You're just, like, taking small steps to normalizing the practice. And so, no. Why am I such a moral busybody? I mean, theoretically, I'm not, right? Like, I don't care if someone does it. It's not going to happen in my household, that's for sure. Like, it's not going to happen in my family. None of the people that I associate with are doing it. But, like, if someone tells me, it's like, oh, I've did this, it's like, that's disgusting. Can we talk about something else? Moving on, you know? I'm not going to start a eulogy explaining to them why it's wrong and that they should stop and trying to create a moral crusade. No. But they get one strike, though. Like, one strike. It's like, if you tell me once, I will warn you. Like, I never want to hear about it again. And if you tell me again, then I'm out. Libertarians do believe in social pressure, just no government involved. Yeah, I mean... I kind of think that, but there's, like, different levels of social pressure. Like, the idea of the call-out culture that America has doesn't exist in Eastern Europe. Like, we do have social pressure here, but, like, to go out of your way to start shaming strangers and form, like, posses and groups to constantly shame people, we just don't do it in Eastern Europe. Come on, V, I don't like it, so it should be banned. You can do it. No, because if I do that, there are things that I do that other people don't like, and then they will want to ban my hobbies. You know, and it's absolutely true. Like, everyone is a libertarian when it comes to their hobbies. Like everyone is willing to tolerate his own hobbies, but like people are very intolerant of other hobbies, and I think it should stop at some point. Like people should realize that they have different pleasures in life, and if you go after other people, then there's no reason why other people can't go after yours. And so I'll defend the shit that you don't care about, and you defend my video games and my anime and my big titty waifus, and we're fine. You don't want to bring a child into the world with some horrible disease. Oh yeah, that's true. Theoretically, like also, if you go down that route, people who are like at a very high age, like usually 40 or 50, they shouldn't have kids either. Because there's also like a high chance. Like, see, here's another thing. Like, a lot of people are wondering, like, why is there a lot of autism levels, right? Like a lot of autism is being diagnosed, and they're blaming everything, including vaccines and other shit. Well, the reason that autism is high is also because people are having kids much later than they used to previously. Like in the previous generation, most people would probably get married by the age of 18 or 20. And before that, it was even earlier, right? And so if you're having a kid by the age of 40, the chances of him having autism is quite high. People are blaming microplastic pollutions. I don't think so. I mean, the Amish, for instance, and actually religious communities in general, they don't, the ones that have kids very early, they don't have autism. And they have microplastics too, by the way. "5'3" and an attitude, girl boss mothers. Oh my god. Apparently that was actually like a commercial for beauty products, and their customers actually do have 5'3" and an attitude. By the way, can someone explain this to me? Because it has caused morbid fascination. So this is in the Serbian parliament happening. Look at it, like they actually managed to get one of these, like what is it? Smoke grenade? And they managed to like boing. Like he's fine, but I think like he got a little scared. See, this is the guy that I want in a war zone. Look at this guy, look at this Chad, right? Like he's coming in. He doesn't even kick it. Like I would have kicked it, but no, like he picks it up and throws it away. Look at this Chad. I don't know what party he is from, but I would vote for him. And what is like this lady with this little spinny thingy? Oh my goodness. And they turned it into a stadium. Right. So, is this normal in Serbia? Is it like such as life in the zone? I'm genuinely curious, like, what the fuck is happening? And the other question is, like, is it bad to have politicians like this? Because they seem to have strong commitments. Like, strong convictions. They're not reading off a prompter. They're not putting a play. Like, no, they're probably really passionate about this thing if they're doing it, right? It is very cringe, though. Like, I would hate to be on the side of the party that does this circus. It's way cooler than a haka. Nah, man. Imagine if you do that and a haka. I should see the parliament in Botswana. Is it wrong if I say, well, I got more expectations from Serbia? Botswana is pretty cool though. Like it's one of the African countries that's actually really nice. Their neighbors are pretty shit though. Like Botswana is an example of why socialism doesn't work. Zimbabwe is starving and Botswana has skyscrapers and shit. You know, it's like, and it's like the same ethnicity, the same thing, just the culture is different. One is socialist, the other is capitalist. Another example can be found between North Korea and South Korea, right? So Botswana, Zimbabwe, North Korea, South Korea. Oh, is that what the Serbians are calling a filibuster? I guess that makes sense, yeah. Uganda is pretty base, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I heard some statements from, like, Ugandan politicians. I really like them. To be fair, the EU, caffeine as an insecticide is designed to induce heart attacks in insects and small pests. But I think that the gay frog and the fluoride water is the worst. Yeah, no, like, this is how the EU starts legislating. Like, first it's like, okay, caffeine as an insecticide is bad. And then they just keep amping it up. And then it's like, okay, let's look at the energy drinks. How much caffeine does the energy drinks have? Like, let's look at how much caffeine is it in a pack of coffee. Can we not have less? You know, they keep going like that. It's like there's no stopping it. Once they set their mind on something, they make sure that it's very difficult or if not inconvenient to get it. I mean, if you're going to go like nicotine is a drug, which it is, so is Pepsi, you know? Like, everything that's addictive can be a drug, even sugar. But the question is, like, which drugs are extremely harmful and which drugs are of a level that we're willing to accept, right? So, like, for instance, if you drink coffee, it's not going to kill you. But if you drink cocaine, well, if you take cocaine, it actually destroys your neurons. And so it causes permanent damage. Like, even if you stop, it's still going to fuck you up for the rest of your life. And so this is why they're both called drugs, but like one of them is banned and the other one is legal. Anyway, I have to cut the stream short a little bit because my baby is crying and I need to see what's going on. And also I ran out of news. So sorry if it was a little bit low energy today. But I'll make it up tomorrow. I'll make it a much better stream. Thank you for watching though, and thank you for the super chats. And I'll see you guys later.